is Shirley. Um, I'm glad you came to the YouTube, because if you want to learn and how to be healthy, that's something I've looked for all my life. And I had why. Why was this? Why was that? And I was only 5 years old. And when I first started school, this is the month of September. And September is my month. And that's when I turned, when I was 5, I turned 6, but they let me in school. And why was I taller than everybody else? Why was I twice as big as everybody else? Why was I 95 pounds at 5 years old? Why? Why? And I had those questions all my life. And since I got into herbs, I know why. I know why. And I know why I was overweight all the time, because I was eating wrong. I was eating against my blood type. And I was eating, Mom gave me cereal and milk in the morning. And the cereal was just cornflakes. I mean, it did not have a lot, but I was not supposed to eat corn with old blood. So nothing was digesting. And even as I got older, I knew as soon as I drank milk or ate anything that had corn in it, I gained 5 pounds. I went, whoa. So I knew this before this program ever came out or anything like that. You know, it just kind of like a hit and run, because I was asking why. And then why was I sick when I was in school? In the 2nd and 3rd grade, I was more at home sick in bed running high fevers than I was in school. And I thought, why? And it was because it was not my mom's fault. She didn't know. But from Kentucky, you ate fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy. And that's all acid food. And today I'm going to talk about pH. When you have acid food, it will put toxins in your body, and it will put weight on you. Either you lose weight or you gain weight. My body gained weight. And then I was sick, and I used to be so sick, I would lay in bed, and my mom would peel the skin off the bottom of my feet. I remember that. Just lay in bed, and she would have this old recorder, this 78 recorder, and I would listen to music and fall asleep. But I was just sick all the time. I mean, sick. And it was my tonsils. They would swell together, and then she tried not to get me to the doctor, but every week I was going to the doctor. Penicillin shot. $4 for the shot. And that's the only thing that kept me alive till I got older, till I got 14, and then the doctor took my tonsils out. But then I had strep afterwards. I didn't change my eating habits. I did not know why. So that's why I am so persistent in helping people to get their health back, because they don't have to be sick. They don't have to die. I had a customer when I was gone for a while. He died of constipation, and he did not have to die. And I mean, it was just so sad. And so my grandmother, just imagine living in Kentucky in a 2-room house downstairs and a 2-room house, and she had 10 kids at home. And she was about 120 pounds, about 5'2", I think Grandma was, because I was taller than her when I was 10 years old. Because my mom was 5'10". She took after her dad. Her dad was, Grandpa, he was 6 foot. And so I ended up being 5'9". But the main gist of it, she had 10 kids at home. But you know how she died? At 63, she had fell and broke her hip, laid in that house before somebody checked on her in 2 days but that's all she died of. They took her to the hospital, and she died of a bed sore. It got infected and killed her, my grandma. So I said, why, God, why? And it's from eating. She used to take that 50-pound bag of flour, pull it in between her legs, and put the egg and the stuff in there and make those biscuits. We used to have biscuits and gravy when we went to Grandma's and all that, but that was all acid. Now I'm going to show you how to get alkaline. But all these years, these 28 years that I've been selling herbs, I have found more and more and more. And I've tried to help people, and some people just don't want help. I mean, they do not want help, because if they wanted help, they would change. Because when I tell them not to drink caffeine or eat chocolate, I had this teaching. I typed it up about 28 years ago. And where I found it, it was only by accident. What happened was we had to go 20 miles north to, it was to an office with a doctor and a nurse, and they advertised where they would send our blood in and check our blood, because back then, 28 years ago, none of us was going to the doctor or hospital getting anything checked, but I think it was $20 that we could get it checked and see if we had high blood sugar and cholesterol and all that stuff. And so we went and I got checked, and I remember when they took my blood, I always bruised really, really bad. I found out why I bruised, because I was lacking vitamin C. I wasn't taking anything back then at the beginning, because the first 5 years I sold herbs, I gave them to my husband because he had been so sick. But anyway, there was a pamphlet in there, and you had to stay in this room, and we was kind of in a line, but the doctor and the nurse was in the other room taking the blood. And I was, I was always looking for information. So they had all these different pamphlets on there. And this one pamphlet said caffeine. And I went, whoa. So I said, I don't even drink coffee. I've never even tasted coffee. So I've never had the problem. But yet, I seen there was something that I knew it was acid, but I didn't know how much acid to. I started taking classes. And I found out caffeine was 5 pH. Well, 5 pH, you don't want 5 pH, because when you put it in your body, it's a vegetable poison. And what it does is it has to strip off the calcium of your bones or your minerals. It takes your minerals out of your body to bring it up to 7.3, because that's what your blood is, so you can live and not die. And so I knew all that. But anyway, I got this article from the doctor's office, and I found it in 3 or 4 other See, when you start teaching somebody, just because one doctor says it, you don't go by it. You go by after 2 or 3 doctors, because I was in health foods before this, and I always had to wait for 3 doctors saying the same thing, or if they worked in clinics with thousands of people, because everybody's got their opinion. And so anyway, I kept this in my computer. I typed it up and kept it in there for 3 years. Wouldn't give it out, because I knew they was going to throw rotten tomatoes at me. And so finally people said, but Shirley, you're taking herbs now, and they're working on you, but they're not working on me. And I pulled this out, and I gave them a copy, and they go, whoa. It says it destroys vitamin A, iron, and potassium. It says it's a vegetable poison, and it causes headaches and tumors. And this is by one doctor. Then another doctor, it says panic disorders and depression and nervousness and twitching and restless leg. And so, I handed it out. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but we just kept on going. Well, anyway, here recently, the doctors have getting on caffeine again, and even chocolate. And they said, it says, does coffee kill the benefits of vitamins? Any beverage that contains caffeine, such as coffee, black tea, soda pop, or chocolate, can inhibit the absorption of vitamins and minerals. And did you know that's vitamin D? And everybody's taking vitamin D to increase their immune system, and it's not going to work because they're not absorbing it. They're not absorbing A. Because I've had a lot of people say, I can't absorb. Well, and then I asked them, are you drinking anything with caffeine in it? Well, yes. I said, stop it. And so anyway, it's hard to stop when you're addicted to something. But I've got thousands and thousands of people that have stopped it, and I still got hundreds that are still thinking about it. But your pH is what I want to talk about, because if my grandmother had pH, she wouldn't have died. If I had, I needed pH too, because to lose weight, if you get your pH right, and I sell these, their pH, and when you're yellow, you're acid, okay, and when you don't want to be blue. You want to be green. You want to be in the green. And did you know that we teach the mothers to cut this in half? Vertical. There's 100 of these in there, but you can have 200 if you cut it vertical. And have your children, have them sticking in a little cup, and have your children test their urine maybe once a week or twice a week. And if it ever turns yellow, they're getting a cold. And most of the time, if they're getting a cold, then you can stop it. By giving them extra. Because see, you might be giving them regular vitamins, but I have customers that has 2 jobs, and I find out I have to give them in the morning, and then I have to give the same vitamins in the afternoon, because they are working so hard, they're burning their vitamins and minerals up. And minerals is what you need to repair your body and everything like this. But this has worked really well. But a lot of my customers, I told them don't cheat, because they said, oh, I'm in the green. No, they're not. what you do with this, you check your urine in the morning, but you got to stop eating around 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, you brush your teeth, do not drink water, do not eat anything after 6 or 7. It's got to be right in there. And then when you wake up in the morning, if you wake up at 4:30, 5:30, you can do it, or 10 o'clock. But the main gist of it, don't brush your teeth or anything after you get done eating. Brush your teeth then in the evening and never touch water again. Then you get the true feed out of what your urine really is. And then I had customers, even the doctors, they were sticking it in your mouth. Don't stick this in the mouth. It's got a chemical in it. What you do is you spit on it and you find out where your saliva is. But the most important is your kidneys. Because if your kidneys is not taking the acid out of your body, that's what's eating your bones up. And that's what happened to me, because when, I used to be into health food, and the health food was whole wheat. I made whole wheat buns for 12 hours in one day, and then it lasted for 2 weeks. And it was acid. It was pure acid. And so you want sprouted. You want sprout stuff, and you want lettuce and all that stuff. But anyway, we're going to pH. When it gets lower, your saliva should be 6.5 to 6.8, and urine should be from 6 to 7. 6 is acid, but that's because you're dumping. But then after you dump, it should get up close to 6. The healthiest is 6.8, and the people that have pH, they will lose their calcium. They will lose all their calcium. They will lose all their magnesium and everything like that. And that's why they have restless legs. But maintaining your pH, now listen to what it affects. If you don't have the right pH in your body, it affects your health, your hormone levels, your heart, weight. You can either gain or you can lose weight, your bladder and kidney, your immune function, your free radicals. I used to do live blood analysis here for 12 years. And as soon as I seen free radicals, I said, what have you been doing? And this one lady, I couldn't even do her at all, because her whole piece of blood was free radicals. And she said, I haven't been doing anything. I've just been waiting to come over here. And I said, tell me exactly what you're doing. Well, I was planting flowers. I said, was you using fertilizer? She said, yes. I said, did you have gloves on? She said, no. All her blood was free radicals. I said, go home and drink gobs of water and don't come back for another 3 or 4 weeks. And she cleaned her blood out, and then I could look and see where her weaknesses was and everything like that. And it also, liver function. If you got acid, liver, it messes up your liver. But energy and your digestion and your elimination. And 2, when you're too acid, that's where bacteria grows, cancer grows. I mean, you don't want it. You've got to get your pH. So most time what I tell you to do is you can eat fish, chicken, or turkey. That's 20% of your diet. But 80% should be green vegetables. And you say, I don't like green vegetables. A lot of my customers says that. Then I have an Ultimate Green Zone that we put in a protein drink and put the scoop in there. That's what I've been doing every single morning. Get my pH up to where it's supposed to be. If not, it will eat your bones up. And so to learn about this and to eat more romaine lettuce, lots of olive oil, I would share with you, do this, and for your children too, your grandchildren. I mean, if you love them, feed them correctly. Have a great day and keep healthy.